So the big question that we are asking is the obstruction of parliament by the opposition an indication of their support to black money and also their resistance to a cashless economy? In helping us understand this question and others associated with it, we have Mr. A.K. Bhattacharya, the editorial director of the Business Standard, and Mr. N.K. Singh, senior journalist. We'll start with you, Mr. N.K. Singh. You see that Parliament is being disrupted constantly. This particular question, is it being disrupted by the opposition because they support black money and resist a cashless economy?
No, that will be a wrong
interpretation? Okay.
Wrong premise, logical premise.
Okay.
But broadly, we have adopted adversarial form of democracy, wherein we have parliament, we have adjournment motion, no confidence motion, processes and institutions. Opposition is an institution which raises issues of public importance. So here there is a problem, very palpable problem, that people are suffering from a government policy which has resulted in untold miseries to the people.
But why not discuss it on the floor of the House? Why not discuss it?
Exactly. That is what I am saying. Now, you insisted that Prime Minister should physically be present in this discussion. All right. He came there, although it was not required. In democratic practices, in adversarial form of democracy, opposition can demand of a debate. But it cannot say that no, tomorrow, by this extension of logic, today you said that Prime Minister should remain present all through the debate. Tomorrow you might as well say, no, actually Prime Minister has put on a white kurta, that is not in consonance. He must put on a red kurta.
Fair enough.
That is how you are going to disturb this entire process. So you are logically incorrect when you say that Prime Minister should be physically present. Prime Minister is an institution. You cannot say that he is bound to be present when discussion is underway. So that is one premise. Other is, in adversarial democracy, you have to see, you have put across your point of view. Public cause is there. There is no denying the fact that there is some public cause. But doing it consecutively for 3-4 days is not in consonance with the spirit of democracy. You could have done it for 2 days, media has covered it, and rest is for media to decide. So here, if you are continuing with this, this will be illogical, and
let's
people
bring in
will
Mr.
not accept of this proposition.
Mr. Bhattacharya, let's say if the 19th and 20th centuries were the centuries of the cash economy, the 21st century is definitely moving into the electronic form, because there is, I mean, the advancement of technology has taken place. The economy is moving in that direction, and if the government has made a step that can shift the economy on a fast track into this mode, shouldn't it be welcomed?
Well, of course it should be welcomed in spirit, but remember that India is a predominantly cash economy, and if you want to move to a digital form and digital mode of transactions in one fell swoop, you're going to see the kind of problem that you saw on the streets of cities, towns, and the country. Now, I do find a change in the nature of debate over the last couple of weeks. The entire exercise began with the idea of attack on black money, and I think today the entire focus is little less on black money, but more on the digital, inclusion of sorts. Now, I think both are very, very laudable goals. But I think in both the cases, in the case of black money, the government cannot stop at just assaulting the stock of cash. It has to take further steps like electoral reforms, real estate reforms, stamp duty reduction, circle rate being brought in tune with the market rate. There are so many steps to be taken to make sure that the black economy gets a jolt. What you have done now is attacked the stock of, that is the criticism.
When there is when the stock of cash has been reduced, and when we presume that a lot of cash is pushing the black economy, then the black economy automatically becomes very difficult to operate, because you have moved into the electronic mode. Because of the shortage of cash. Now, when you're limiting the amount of cash, which is what perhaps the government is doing in this method as well.
That's exactly the point I'm making, that when you want to sort of switch over to the digital mode of transactions, I think it has to be a gradual process. It cannot be done in one fine morning.
But people have done it. I mean, it's happening. People are getting used to it.
I think,
and let's look at the advantages of the digital economy.
There is no denying that there is a great advantages. But I think to move from an economy which was predominantly dependent on cash, 90% of commercial transactions in the country is in cash. Now, from 90%,
wasn't that heavily dependent on cash? Wouldn't we say that?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't we need to reduce it to, let's say, 20%?
Of course, you should do that, and maybe this is a good beginning.
Okay.
But I think to make that happen, there are many steps that have to be taken, and I think this is probably the first such step. And the government, the way and manner in which it is tackling it, I would say the government is responding to the popular needs, inconveniences, in the right way.
Mr. N.K. Singh, looking at the issue of a shortage of money and people, used to having cash for their transactions, have to make a shift in the way they are going to deal with the economy in the future. People will have bank accounts. Now the bank accounts are spreading. People are forced to deposit their money because it will become invalid very fast. Do you see this, this shift, or let's say a supplementation into the digital mode taking place rapidly over the next month?
I'll just extend the logical block that AKB had just generated.
No, I understand that there is a need and people are used to it. I'm saying that the system has changed.
See, the volume of total retail market is 25 lakh crore. 25 lakh crore. Now, 90% of this is by those who do not have any account, or even if they have, they don't go to operate their account. Now, all of a sudden, it cannot be a one-fell swoop, as AKB had said. It has to be gradual.
Yes.
But you are missing one point, which Arun Jaitley ji has just spoken about, is that, see what will happen. Now, the real black money, see the plowback of this currency notes in 500 to 1000 denomination, it is going to be somewhere around 10 lakh crore. 6 lakh crore already completed. It will be around 10 lakh crore. The difference will be around the 3.5 lakh crore, which will be real black money.
Okay.
Now, this will be the benefit for the government. If it doesn't come, doesn't get through the proper channel, it means that this was the real black money. Now, there are three assertions. One is by World Bank. By that assertion, you can say it was 1.5 lakh crore. The real black money in cash, not in property and all that, was 1.5 lakh crore. Another account says it is 2.5 lakh crore. NIPP, it says that it is somewhere around 4.5 lakh crore. Arun Kumar endorses it as well. I think AKB will also countenance my proposition. Now, if it is 4.5 lakh crore, government is going to be massively benefited. It will have cash surplus, which can be plowed back, which can be rather put into the productive channels. So I think it is going to be, it will neutralize what Manmohan Singh was saying, that it will be that there will be a palpable drop of 2% in GDP growth rate. I think it will be made up by this cash difference, which will be actually the benefit for the government.
I have a slight difference of view on this. The money that is going to be extinguished after being treated as black, the difference, in my view, will have to be plowed back into the monetary system. It cannot be extinguished. The only way it can be brought back is probably by lending to the government and bonds, and therefore, if it is a lending to the government...
Bonds have already been given when it was released.
No, my question is this, that if you extinguish it, technically you cannot extinguish money.
You can't.
You cannot.
But bonds have already been released.
True, but my question is, if the money is to be brought back into the system, therefore the money cannot be just dropped from a helicopter. It has to be sent to distributed to the economy,
into the banking system.
And it most probably one way of doing it is lending it to the government. Now, if you do that, the government will have to borrow more, and my limited understanding tells me that probably government's deficit will take a hit.
There is another addition to it. See, as a matter of fact, every month we have the capacity when all 5 printing press are at work. It will take 7 months. There is no denying this fact, because 300 crore loans.
You are under the impression, sir, that the entire amount has to be remonetized. But I have given you that example that we are not, that perhaps the government is not going to remonetize the entire amount. The rest of the economy will have to be spent through the digital mode.
No,
it
no,
has
see,
to move
Mr.
into
that's
the
what I'm
digital
saying.
mode.
There is
It's
a
already in
percentage.
the digital mode
You are right.
because it is already in the banking
You are
system.
right, but digital mode, that is what AKB is saying, so am I.
You are saying that we should withdraw the money and then start using it in the
it's
cash
not that.
economy
Actually,
once again.
You got it wrong.
No, I'm
Actually,
saying that, but if you want to remonetize that many notes, you're not going to remonetize that many notes.
No, it's not. I mean, digital gap that you are seeing, all of a sudden, within 7 months, 6 months, do you think that digital mode conversion from the normal currency mode to digital mode will be some 50%?
My sense is that if you really want people to move to the digital mode of transaction, there are a host of other measures that have been taken to make digital transaction to be a matter of incentive. You have to incentivize people, because why are people not going for digital? Because they don't want to come into the accounted system. Because they don't want to pay tax on their transactions. So therefore, I mean, one thing you are having is GST, which will bring more people into the system. Now, if we have lower tax rates, then I think people will be more encouraged to come to the digital system, because today people are little apprehensive of coming into the accounted mode of transaction.
So wouldn't that be the natural progression that will take place?
So therefore, the next
because there is more money in the legal system or in the banking system, the tax rates can automatically come down over time.
I would
and there would be other forms
if you do not take those
simple
corollary
transactions.
steps, I think the digital idea will not be fully realized.
Okay. So you, Mr. N.K. Singh, finally would believe that that this shift towards a digital economy is taking place, and is advised.
Yes.
And even though, I mean, a majority of our population is in the informal sector, this can be possible for India. It is a possibility.
Yes, 100%. This can be possible. It will be gradual. The process is gradual. But the benefit it will derive. See, in the entire country today, there is an atmosphere that no, we cannot countenance corruption. So that is where the benefit that the government is going to derive out of it is massive. Notwithstanding the fact that there are some miseries which people are, particularly the hoi polloi, the common man, they are facing. Notwithstanding this fact, it is going to benefit.
I think we've run short of time, but one final word from you, Mr. Bhattacharya. You know, I mean, an economy, a free market economy is very competitive. Now, when we are in the digital mode and every transaction is visible and you can do a Google search for a price, wouldn't there be a perfect competitive market?
You get more competitive.
We will be more competitive.
There are productivity gains.
Yes.
And provide. And the only downside to my mind is how soon you can bring the informal economy into the fold of the digital transaction.
Fair enough. We leave it there. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
At a time when 30% of the rural market is on internet now.
We leave it there. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us here on Newsnight.